Hey everybody, welcome to Beaming Notes, and today we're going to look at the summary of the poem Lord Ullin's Daughter by Thomas Campbell. Setting of the poem. This poem is set in the Scottish Highlands. This part of Scotland's landscape is a combination of woods, moors, verdant valleys and beautiful lakes. Hence, these are the places through which Lord Ullin's daughter and her lover escape within the poem. Summary, stanza 1 to 2.
A chieftain in the Highlands bound cries, "Boatman, do not tarry, and I'll give thee a silver pound to row us over the ferry. Now who be ye would cross Lochgyle, this dark and stormy water? Oh, I am the chief of Ulva's isle, and this Lord Ullin's daughter."
The poem consists of 13 stanzas. Each of these stanzas is again made up of 4 lines. Hence, the entire poem consists of 52 lines in total. In the first stanza, the poet describes how a Scottish chieftain was on his way to the Highlands by way of water, and he told the boatman that he would give him a pound to cross the lake without any delay. In second stanza, the boatman asks who it is that wants to cross the Lochgyle Lake on such a stormy day. In reply, the chieftain identifies himself as a ruler of Ulva and his lady companion as a daughter of one Lord Ullin, the chieftain of a neighbouring isle. Summary, stanza 3 and 4.
And fast before her father's men 3 days we're fled together. For should he find us in the glen, my blood would stain the heather. His horsemen hard behind us ride, should they our steps discover. Then who will cheer my bonny bride, when they have slain her lover?
In third stanza, the chieftain of Ulva tells the boatman that he and his lady love have been fleeing for the past 3 days from Lord Ullin's men, because they would surely kill the Lord of Ulva if they found him with Lord Ullin's daughter. In the fourth stanza, the chieftain of Ulva continues to tell the boatman that Lord Ullin's horsemen have been chasing him and his lady love. He then asks the boatman who would share his bride once he had been killed, after Lord Ullin discovers them journeying together. Summary, stanza 5 and 6.
Out spoke the hardy Highland wight, "I'll go, my chief, I'm ready. It's not for your silver bright, but for your winsome lady. And by my word the bonny bird in danger shall not tarry. So, though the waves are raging white, I'll row you over the ferry."
In the fifth stanza, the boatman assures the chief of Ulva that his lovely bride will not spend another moment in the dangerous situation they are in. Even though the water is flowing so fast that white froth is rising to its surface, the boatman would row them across the lake. In sixth stanza, the poet says that the thunder and lightning grew ever stronger, and it seemed that the mythical water wrath was shrieking as a signal that everyone on the lake would die soon. The poet imagines that the sky itself is scowling, and as a result, each man's face was becoming more and more anxiety-stricken. Summary, stanza 7 to 8.
By this the storm grew loud apace, the water wraith was shrieking, and in the scowl of heaven each face grew dark as they were speaking. But still as wilder blew the wind, and as the night grew drearer, adown the glen rode armed men, their trampling sounded nearer.
In the seventh stanza, the poet says that the thunder and lightning grew ever stronger, and it seemed that the mythical water wrath was shrieking as a signal that everyone on the lake would die soon. The poet imagines that the sky itself is scowling, and as a result, each man's face was becoming more and more anxiety-stricken. In the eighth stanza, the poet describes how the wind kept blowing at faster and faster speeds, and the night got darker and darker. At this time, Lord Ullin's horsemen could be heard approaching the lake with all their weaponry intact. Summary, stanza 9 and 10.
"Oh, haste thee, haste," the lady cries. "Though tempests round us gather, I'll meet the raging of the skies, but not an angry father. The boat has left a stormy land, a stormy sea before her. When, oh, too strong for human hand, the tempest gather over her."
In this stanza, we hear Lord Ullin's daughter speaking for the first time. She tells the boatman to hurry on his way even though their surroundings were getting stormier every minute, for she could bear to face the wrath of the sky but not that of her own father. In 10th stanza, the poet says that while the land had been an unsafe place for the chief of Ulva and his lady love, the sea was none too safe for them either. As the storm became more terrifying, it was proving more difficult for the boatman to control his vessel. Summary, stanza 11 and 12.
And still they rode amidst the roar of waters fast prevailing. Lord Ullin reached the fatal shore, his wrath was changed to wailing. For sore dismayed, through storm and shade, his child he did discover. One lovely hand she stretched for aid, and one was round her lover.
In this stanza, the poet describes how both the sky and the water roared, but the boat stayed on its path. At this moment, Lord Ullin reached the shore of the lake, and his anger transformed into lament. In 12th stanza, Lord Ullin looks hard through the darkness and the storm to see his daughter with the one hand stretched out, as if to ask for help, and the other holding on to her lover, the chief of Ulva. Summary, stanza 13 and 14.
Come back," he cried in grief across the stormy water, "and I'll forgive your Highland chief. My daughter, oh my daughter." 'Twas vain, the loud waves lashed the shore, return or aid preventing. The waters wild went over his child, and he was left lamenting.
In this stanza, Lord Ullin begs his daughter to return to the shore and promises to forgive her lover for taking her away from him. It is thus clear that his daughter is the most important thing to him in his life. In the last stanza, the poet says that it was now impossible for the boat to return or to get any help from anyone since the waves were crashing against the shore. Lord Ullin's daughter was drowned and he was filled with remorse. Central idea. The chief of Ulva has eloped with Lord Ullin's daughter against her father's wishes. Lord Ullin's men have been chasing them for 3 days until they have reached the shore of the Lochgyle Lake. It is a stormy day and the boatman only agrees to ferry the couple across after realizing that Lord Ullin's men will kill the chief of Ulva if they are discovered together. The storm takes a turn for the worse and everyone on the boat is drowned. Lord Ullin is remorseful that he didn't allow his daughter to pursue a relationship with the man of her choice, because of which she had been forced to flee under such dreadful weather conditions and was killed.